Let's talk electioneering now. The election is 21st of September, and the time is already ticking, and the date is getting closer. So what is it looking like, the contests at the moment?
For us in Labour Party, it's looking good. It has never been better. Our principal just finished a tour of Europe and is back on the campaign trail. Yesterday, the other day was 2 days ago. He was in Ubaoka. Tomorrow is going to be in Ovia. We are talking to the people, and this is basically what our party stands for. It's a Mama Papa Peking party, a party that puts the people at the center of governance, a people-centric, people-focused party. And then we are taking advantage of that to engage with the people and to sell our ideas, our concept of governance, and with clarity, what we hope to do for Edo people to Edo people. We do not have a godfather in Abuja. We do not have a godfather in Benin. God is our father. So we are talking to the people, and the people is our primary in this election. And I am convinced that 37 days to the election, it will come out favorably for the Labour Party because we have done our homework and we continue doing this work.
Mm. Yes, you know, when you spoke, you said the candidates just concluded a tour of Europe. And I've noticed that it has become a trend in Edo State. The APC candidate went to Europe, the PDP candidate went off the country. But the question is, are the people in Europe, they cannot vote in Nigeria. So what's the essence of going to Europe to campaign?
We have a huge diaspora population in Edo State. We have a lot. There's no family in this state that does not have somebody living abroad. And we have a whole lot of persons, we have a whole lot of diaspora remittances coming into the state. It is important that we discuss with these people who are sending this much money into our state. We put them as part of the discussion in the development of the state. They are critical stakeholders in the development of our state. So our principal has taken absolute advantage of that, has gone to interface with the people, has spoken with them, he has been able to secure their buy-in into the Labour Party governance that will continue shortly, immediately after this government in November. So we are prepared and we have done our work. It's just part of the work and we have done it.
Now, if you take a look at the trend in Edo, not outside the state, you will observe that the concentration is on Edo Central. And your candidate is from Edo South. And the people are already, some persons are already saying they want somebody from Edo Central for the balance of power to become the governor of the state. Will that not affect your candidates come September 21?
Absolutely not. You know, there are a lot of considerations in every election. In this election, there are, apart from the ethnic consideration you just put forward now, there are religious considerations. Our ticket is the only ticket that is balanced. We have a Christian governor and a Muslim deputy gubernatorial candidate. We need to also talk about political balance. We have had 25 years of APC, 12 years of APC, 12 years of PDP. So 25 years combined of APC and PDP. Of course, they are the same. So here in Edo State, we call them 25 years of PDAPC. It is time for us to now look elsewhere. After that 25 years, when it rains, you need amphibious, or if you like, aquatic features to navigate the streets of Benin. You know, our schools are still dilapidated, our roads are broken, our educational system is in the woods. Now it is time to look at a different political party. And that is the kind of value, the third force, that's the kind of value that Labour Party is offering. And it is in the enlightened self-interest of the other political parties and their candidates not to continue mentioning that we should focus on ethnicity in this election. It is in their enlightened self-interest. Why do I say this? 60% of the voting populations are the Benin. I am not from Benin. I am from Auchi. I'm from Etako. But I know that our big brothers, the Benins, constitute 60% of the voting population. You cannot use ethnic jingoism and ethnic chauvinism to intimidate a 61% voting population in your state. It simply will not work. we are not talking ethnicity. We in Labour Party, we are not even talking ethnicity. Even when we have the advantage of ethnicity, we are not talking it, we are discussing issues. So it is in the enlightened self-interest of the other political parties and their candidates to reduce the tone of ethnicity and all the other things that they have been mentioning. We are focused on the election. We are discussing the issues that pertain to the election.
Okay. Now that you're talking about not ethnicity, not religion, but the issues. Let's go to the issues for now. How well can you tell us and the people in Edo State that your candidate is has the clear knowledge of the challenges facing the people? How does he know, how well does he know the entire Edo State? Because Edo State is a very large state. There are some parts of Edo State that will take you close to about 3, 4, 5 hours if you drive from the headquarters. If you go to some areas in Edo North, they are quite very far. And how well can your candidate say that he is so vast with the knowledge of the challenges facing the people of Edo, those from the central, the south, and the north?
Okay, that's a very good question. Thank you for that question. We are candidates in the present tour he's doing right now. This is the 5th time he's going around the 192 wards of the 18 local governments in Edo State. No other party comes close. This is the 5th time. He did it 3 times during his primaries. He's done it once during this campaign period, and he's doing it again. I will probably do one more, 192 words. So no other candidate comes close. I'll give you a few pointers as to what we have discovered in our visits to places around this, because I was in some of the visits. We were in Orionwon. We discovered that the people of Orionwon has not seen light for 10 years. It will shock you, Ijoma. We were in Sobe. People in Sobe has not seen light for 5 years. So the tale of woes is across board. And then you said that there are parts of the state that will take you 5 hours. That is not absolutely correct. That is not entirely correct. The bad roads has made navigating the state. Sometimes if you want to go to part of Onwa and part of Akoko Edo, you have to go through Ondo State now, in a state where we have governors. Usually, normally, the traveling from Benin to any part of Edo State should not go beyond 2 hours. But we have an helicopter governor who flies around the state in an helicopter, literally and figuratively. He has no understanding of the roads and how bad the roads are. So normally there shouldn't be 5 hours travel in Edo State. It's usually between 1 hour, 30 minutes and 2 hours. But because of the bad roads, now up to 5 hours. But even on that, on top of all of that challenges, Olumide Osaigbo-Akpata has gone around the 18 local government, the 192 ward 5 times. And it is on that premise that we have drafted our manifesto, which is going to be unveiled in a matter of days. It's on that premise. So we have a clear understanding of what is going on in Edo State. We know what the Esako man need. We know what the Onwan man need. We know what the Akoko Edo man need. We know what the Esan man need. We know what the Benin, who are our big brothers, need in this state. And that is precisely what we are doing. The governance that Labour Party bring on board will be something like it has never been seen before. Not the kind of absentee governance we have had in the last 8 years, if you want to stretch it in the last 25 years.
Zachary, I'll take you back to your word. You said there is no place in Edo State that covers more than 2 hours, except for the bad road. Have you been to Sobe? Have you been to Shomorika? Have you driven from Benin to? You know what? I know this part because I've gone round in the Edo State, and I did that as a journalist while I was doing documentaries for the then Edo State governor, Adams Oshomole. So I know that there are places in Edo North, when you pass through Onwa, going down into Akoko Edo, that will take you almost 5 hours. So if you're saying it's 1 hour, 30 minutes, then the question will be, how well do you know the Edo State that you want to govern?
That's a very good question. I was in Sobe just about 3 weeks ago, and that is how I know that 5 years Sobe has not had electricity. You can call your friends in Sobe to find out. I have been to Somorika. I've been to Igara. I've been to virtually every place in Edo North.
Did it take you 2 hours from Benin? Did it take you 2 hours from Benin to those areas? Because at the time we traveled down, the roads were good.
If we want to discuss the science behind the journey,
yes,
we can do precisely that. The science behind
that is it. Wow, Zachary, I think probably is, yes. Thank you for
within 2 hours or more. If you travel through Aochi, from Aochi to Igara, it's not beyond 1 hour. So from Benin to Aochi, it's not supposed to be more than 1 hour, 20 minutes, if not for the bad road. So if you do the math, I'm a mathematician, if you do the math, it still sums up to between 2 hours, 30 minutes, 1 hour, 30 minutes from every part, from any part of the state to every part of the state. However, save for the bad roads that we now suffer in Edo State, you can now stay on the road in Edo for 5 hours going to a place. So I totally understand your concerns and I understand what you're talking about, but it ought not to be so. We are talking the ideal. The ideal is that no place in Edo State should take more than 2 hours, 2 hours, 30 minutes to go at any time, whether be it rainy season or dry season. Save for the poor governance that we have had to endure in the last 8 years, and if you want to stretch it, 25 years.
Okay, so let's take a look at, you have said your candidate is concerned about the people and the issues and the infrastructure development. So can you tell us, in your manifesto that will be released soon, which one is paramount for your candidate?
Okay, I'll quickly, because I'm very passionate about education. If I got you right, you want us to talk on some of the issues that our candidate has espoused. So let's talk education. Our candidate has spoken lucidly on what education should look like, not what it looks like now. The government, the present government bandy around Edo Best and all other, fancy things they say. But he has spoken, and he has spoken about first the curriculum. What are children being taught? What do you teach the children? Then the teachers who teach them. In the course of our journey across the state, we even discovered that communities are the ones employing teachers for some schools. Under Olumide Osaigbovo Akpata, that kind of thing cannot happen. Keep in mind that all of Olumide Osaigbovo Akpata's education has been in Nigeria. He didn't school abroad, so his country educated him, and he's a resounding success of a person. So it means it's time for him to give back the kind of education he enjoyed when he was in school. Now, education, he talked about curriculum, and then he talked about the quality and number of teachers. Then he also talked about the brick and mortar. The infrastructure, educational infrastructure in Edo State today is almost at its lowest. I challenge AIT to take a tour of some of our secondary and primary schools. I personally could lead, and you will see a number of dilapidated schools. You will see children writing on the floor. So much so that our candidate had to go to a place in Ewatu, a place called Ewatu, to renovate a school that was abandoned by the state government. For context, Ewato is the next community to Ewoimi. Ewoimi is where Asolime Ighodalo of the PDP comes from. So this is the kind of mind that is running, that is wanting to lead Edo State. I just spoke about education. Let me talk a little about agriculture, because the protest that just ended is tagged End Bad Governance, and it was motivated by hunger. In our manifesto and our thinking, the Olumide Osaigbovo Akpata's government, we encourage farmers, and we buy the produce of farmers. So when you farm, government buys from you. And when government buys from you, they pay you, and you go back to farm. And then security. Security is the one that is most talked about. Security, people are not able to go to the farm. The herdsmen are not spirits, or the gunmen. I don't want to be accused of talking ethnicity. The gunmen who are oppressing our people in the bushes are not spirits. Under Olumide Osaigbovo Akpata, my point on agriculture. Now, as opposed to what they are doing with ESSN now, that is majorly political vendetta, your station and other stations reported widely how the reinstated deputy governor of Edo State was confronted to the point that a corporal in the Nigerian police was shot at the airport. That's what these guys are mostly used for under this government. We will deploy them to the farms to secure our farms, and when our farmers produce this food, Olumide Osaigbovo Akpata's government will buy those food off them and return the farmers back to farm. So these are the clear ideas that we are espousing. If you allow me, I can speak for the whole day.
That's it.
promised the people and what it can do.
Maybe we'll have another time for you to speak for the whole day. That
Absolutely.
time will come. We'll talk about that. But before we let you go, there was a poll conducted by Business Day. And I'm sure you have seen the result of that poll. So what's your take on that before we go?
Well, I read about the poll. I didn't quite take it seriously, but there are a few material particulars I think we can discuss from that poll. For example, that poll suggested that 68% of those who were captured on that poll, the voters in that poll, were men. You know, historically in Edo State, women vote more than men. So I do not know where they got that 68% from. Also, you know, they said that 95% participated in the poll. Historically, we have never gotten more than 60% voting population in the poll. So if you look at those material particulars, the poll becomes suspect right from the get-go. However, they posited that the candidate of the PDP won the poll, the candidate of the APC came second, and our candidate came third. So this is a figment of, I think, with due respect to whoever, you know, conducted the poll, this might as well be a figment of their imagination, because the reality on ground speaks entirely different to what this poll is projecting. And the interesting thing is that you can win as many polls as possible. It is on the day of election that we will know who will win at the polling unit. Elections are not won at newspaper polls, they are won at the polling unit. So we are focused on talking to those at the polling unit. So I mentioned the material particular. Interestingly, those who voted in this poll, 48% of them complained, 36% of them complained about roads. So let's even assume that the poll is legitimate and is correct. If 36% of those who voted in the poll complain about road, it then means that this government has done abysmally in terms of road. Are you convincing me, Joma, that this government has done so poorly in road, and the people they conducted the polls for complained about it will still vote to reinforce failure? In Edo State, we do not reinforce failure. In the next election, we are going to vote for success, and that's what Olumide Akpata is all about.